Yo, hey fellas,
What's up? I would do that same move, but I think I would knock my whole room over.
just clear everything out, including the
Everything.
laptop.
It would be over.
That's,
Stream
that's,
over.
that's as good as a special effects kit.
I would have
This
to
is it.
CGI it.
This is it. That was a fake, like you know how they like walk, like making the little screen do weird stuff. That was my version of that.
That's it.
I didn't spin. It was the I have a
The room was
360.
spinning. You were sitting still.
It's a 360 camera. You know how like in the parties you slow motion they be going around.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what
that's
it
what
was. Yeah, you
that's what happened.
nailed it.
I did.
Yeah.
That's
Episode-
fucking boring. I'm sticking to it.
episode number 46. 46.
Yep.
I've got nothing.
Yep. That's it.
Oh, like a reference to 46. Like who has
I have nothing. I have
who
nothing.
in history had number 46?
I have nothing. Let me get research on that.
Yeah. Really quick, if you are watching the show and you are James says good evening, fellas, and good evening to you, James.
Good evening.
Good evening. I think James didn't James run the Twilight 5000?
He
He
sure
did.
did. Sure did.
Yeah.
Shout out
Um,
Lansing.
Lindsay did it too.
I said Lansing.
Oh, Lansing. I'm like, all right, Lindsay did do it. But if you are in the chat, tap in, say hello, tell us where you're from, and if you ran today, drop a mileage on us. You know.
And if you're feeling froggy, share the meaning of life.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you ever sit? Okay, when I think of the meaning of life, typically it's like when I'm driving at night. That's like when I have like the real thoughts of like what's going on right now, you know? When you have like your deepest thoughts, where are you at?
Usually
Just
in the
before I go
shower.
to sleep.
Wait, what?
Go ahead, Aaron.
Usually for me, it's when I'm in the shower.
Shower thoughts.
I agree, though. Gary. Well, actually, Gary, I think I feel the number one thing I always think about before I go to sleep is like, what's gonna happen when I die? Like it get real crazy. And it just be like, why am I thinking about this when I'm trying to go to sleep? Because now I can't go to sleep. Like it's over.
Hey, now I lay me down to sleep. I'ma die.
I know I'm gonna die, but where do I go after? I guess that's why faith in religion is so big to people, because like it's scary to not know. Like, where am I going?
Yeah, because that is like that's an admirable thing to just like have no like I'm just going to dissipate, you know. Yeah, if you guys are tapping in right now, we're talking about the meaning of life. I mean, but look, guys.
We usually keep it light, so it's only right that sometimes.
I mean, this is our platform. We can do what we want to. If we want to talk about life and the meaning and death and all that, we can do that, you know. So here we are, Gary. And you think about like the meaning of life before bed, or you feel like you think of like your to-do list the next day?
Well, it can be both, but it's usually those deep thoughts as just as you're about to hit, like your eyes are closed, you're about to hit REM, all these weird, like deep thoughts get in your head.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like, shit, I got to do that. Shoot, I got to do that project tomorrow.
It's too late. The word has already been there. We don't. This is a live show. You might as well just roll with it. You just drew more attention.
We'll get it in post. We'll get it in post.
No, we're not. This is there is no editing, Gary. Nice shirt, by the way. But yeah. So random though, because like we're here already. This is less dark. So for people that can't sleep, right? Oh, you guys both froze. I'm like, here we go again. For people that can't sleep, they say write down your to-do list for the next day. You know what I'm saying? As a practice before bed.
So I give myself more anxiety before I go to sleep. Why would I do that?
Because you think about the same thing regardless. You're gonna be thinking about that regardless. So you might as well write it down. Like, okay, as more of an action item, this is what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
Here's the flaw of that. I can't read my own writing when I'm fully awake. So if I'm
It's
tired,
really like hieroglyphics.
yeah,
Wake up in the morning with more anxiety than you did when you went to sleep. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do today.
this looks important. I have no
How am
idea.
I supposed to read this? All right. Well, so now that we thought about life, death, and in to-do lists, let's tap back into the miles. So Mark is in Grand Rapids. He ran six slow miles to finish the week. Slow miles is always a good way to finish the week. Silas is checking in from Rochester. Silas from Rochester.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Rochester Elite. Hello,
I
my
don't think he's
brothers.
in Rochester right now, but he's a Rochester guy.
Is it Rochesterian?
So Rochesterite?
Rochesterite? Chester? First double digit long run, 10.5. Dope. I'm glad to see. Yes, I was talking to Silas. Like, I messaged him afterwards. I think he's ready to lock in. I think it's time. I think he's got a couple good weeks under his belt. He's training for Chicago, so good luck on that, brother. Just keep on rolling. Gary, what did you do today? Let's tap into the people on the chat.
I took the day.
You took the day?
Yeah, I did. I wasn't going to.
Hold on. Say it on the Summer Jam screen. You took the day.
I took the day. I was feeling achy. I got something going on with my shoulder, and just wasn't feeling it. And then I was gone. I was by myself most of the day, just with the little one. So I had no opportunity to get out, but took the rest day. And I'm not in training, so I don't really feel bad about it.
Okay. All right. So, like, talk to us though a little more about that, because I think sometimes people have a really hard time taking a day. Honestly,
it's a new feeling. I started this last summer between marathon training sessions, where it was just run and get after it and do good when you're doing it. You know, whether it's an easy run or workout or what have you. But if you can't make it, can't make it. And quite frankly, I felt a little bit beat up, and I thought, let me take a day, get a little extra rest. So when I did get back to it, which will be tomorrow, and because marathon training starts in 2 weeks, let me be fully rested and ready to go, because that's going to be a hard slog, and there's no way around it. Marathon training is tough. So get the rest and take it easy while you can, and don't feel bad about it when you do.
Okay.
I like it. I tell myself all the same things when I don't want to go to work.
Take a day.
Take a day. Don't feel bad about it.
Like, I mean, honestly, like if you think about it like that, I think for a training block, I think you have PTO days.
Yeah, you got time to take.
Yeah, Like if
it's a mental health day in a way, you know.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable taking that day off, like if you're there to be able to do it without having to stress like, oh, I've lost fitness. But I know I haven't lost fitness.
So for me, I think it's just about like committing to it, right? So like if you're gonna take the day off, take the day off. Don't feel bad about taking the day off. Don't stress about taking the day off. Just take the day off. Like make the decision that you are taking the day off, and just let it be that. Like don't go to sleep that night thinking, oh man, I missed the day. Like, oh no, I got to make it up. If you are gonna take the day, just take the day.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part for me, because sometimes I feel guilty. I feel like, oh no, like I'm not committed. I'm not whatever. It's just like, no, if you need the day, take the day and mean it. Like, don't go back and forth with it. Just
right. And it helps to make that decision earlier in the day. Like I made it pretty much the moment I got up. I was like, I'm not going to make it out today, and I'm fine with that. I'm going to use it to rest and get stuff done around the house. It's when you wait till the end of the day, it's 9 o'clock. You either got to go to Planet Fitness or, you know, make sure you got reflective gear. And then you say, oh, I'm just going to take the day. You
feel like you lost.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think I like that. Like Aaron's like, you know, if you're going to take the day, take the day. Like it is like make it a decision so that, you know, it's not something you have to think about later. Like if you just plan poorly and it's just like you stumble across it, you're going to have like some like, dang, I shoulda, coulda, whatever, Just take the day off and mean it. Like you said, like, cause one thing, like if you're going to recover, like you could just use that as a recovery day, do all your like recovery day things. So you're still like, you know, you're still like sewing into your end goal, You know, like don't just sit there and like let the day feel like you wasted it, but like specifically do some stuff that you know that's like running recovery related, and then maybe that'll just if you ever remember this day, you look back on this day, you'll be like, oh, that was a day off, but I did these things that made me feel better for that next run.
Yeah.
Like I was running with Gary the other day, and we ran. I had what I have on, I had 8 on the schedule, and I was about to just like we got to like mile 5 or whatever, and I just said to Gary like I'm just gonna do 6 miles, and then but I had to like I had enough time to think about it like okay if I skip this 2 miles like which I have done before with no thought like just like nope not doing it because today's not the day. But I had to think about like, will this 2 miles? Will I think about this 2 miles the rest of the week? Will I regret not doing, not doing this 2 miles? And I thought my answer was leaning towards like, yes, maybe I'll regret it, and yes, maybe I'll think about it too much. So I just ran the extra 2 miles, even though I didn't feel like it. But there's other moments where it's like I'm not running the full thing today because of either time or I feel too I need more recovery or something, and I make a firm decision, and then it's like it never happened. Like I did the 6, got through it, done. But I think you just have to check your reasoning for doing it because you could just start off days could get a little crazy if you just taking them like willy nilly, like I don't feel like it. Make sure that you're proud of and okay with the decision you made.
Absolutely.
There we go.
Gary,
Well,
I think you're muted, Gary.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, like I said, so today I feel rested. I feel like I got a lot accomplished around the house. I feel good about heading into the week running wise. Like I said, 2 weeks ago before training starts. So I want to make sure I'm feeling fit, but I'm also not feeling run down either.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that then. Let's just keep going into the training, the weekly training vibe. What's your training been like this week, Gary?
It was kind of almost like a taper week, because we had the Twilight race this week. So, I mean, aside from the real hard racing on Wednesday, it was light, no workouts or anything, just keeping it easy.
Yeah. What about you, Aaron?
It was a solid week of training. The Tracksmith, I paced the 21-minute group with the tracks at the Tracksmith at the Twilight 5000 in Detroit, and it was more like a marathon pace workout because 21 minutes is right around marathon pace. 21-minute 5K is right around marathon pace for me. So I did that, and then I finished. I kind of did a little extra afterwards, a few 800s and a few 200s. So I was surprisingly a little not sore, but my legs were a little heavy the next day. And then Saturday's run, I made it a point to sleep in because I haven't had an opportunity to really like turn my phone off and just like sleep in for a while. So I wanted to make sure I got a decent amount of sleep on Saturday. So I was not able to run with you guys on Saturday morning, but I ran it Saturday afternoon, and I thought it would only be in the mid to high 70s, but somehow by the time I finished, it was 85. So that was a little different, but I'm still kind of trying to be intentional about running in warmer portions of the day, just trying to force some of that heat acclimation while we have the opportunity to do so. And then today's long run went well. Had some longer than I've been doing repeats, half marathon effort kind of stuff, and it went well. And even though it was a little warm, so that is promising. So yeah, a solid week of training, nothing spectacular, but just another week in the books, another healthy week in the books.
Yeah, number one. I guess we'll just talk about Twilight in a second. But yeah, I had a good training week too. Twilight was on Wednesday. It was kind of like not the same as like skipping a run or whatever, but in the moment of like us doing our thing on Wednesday at Twilight 5000, the Detroit edition, I kind of like knew I was gonna sacrifice quite a few miles that day. Because I was supposed to do like a 3 mile warm up or 2 mile warm up, 2 mile cool down, or 3 even on both sides. So like I knew it was supposed to be a bigger day, but I ended up. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I only ran like one. I actually ended up running 2 miles that whole day. And yes, 5,000 meters is longer than 2 miles. So I did not, just for to get this out the way, I didn't finish the race. So we'll talk about the reason why I did not finish my first race ever. I did DNF for the first time ever, but it was actually a good week. I didn't feel bad about that DNF at all, surprisingly. And you know me, like it's like I'm surprised like how okay I was with that. But then I just moved right along, jump back in on Friday because Gary and I were trying to like link up to run on Thursday. Timing was weird for both of us, so I just moved the run to Friday, and we ended up running together. So that was really cool. So like the week worked out well. I missed 8 miles, 6 to 8 miles or so, but like it is what it is, and I'm far enough away from goal race where I'm okay with that. And I still got a decent, mileage in for the week, and just gonna move on. Just jump right back into it. But since we're here, we might as well talk about the topic at hand. First, Aaron, I'd like to say, so I saw you pacing. You paced the second heat, right?
Heat number 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number two. But you it was marathon pace, and you should at that point. You should be like solid. But you look like super in control. Like you just did. Like you were just like it was just like you were like just two. I'm like, wait, how fast are they going? It just looked like you was moving like an easy run pace for us, and it was like all right, you were like locked in.
Yeah. Just real quick. Hello, Joy. Yeah, no, it was an interesting experience because I was running that same pace a couple weeks ago during a long run with Ern, and we did 3 by 1 mile at that pace. And I was telling Ern, I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, this feels like more difficult than it should for some reason. And I'm like, I'm running, this is what I'm supposed to be doing at Twilight in a week and a half. And I don't know, like I might lead some people wrong if I feel like this. But I don't know. It was just a nice day. I feel like my hydration was on point. And running on the track just felt much smoother than running on the road. I had another pacer with me, Anna from Very Nice Track Club, and she was just hanging out, and we were just kicking it. And it's something about kind of being in service to other people and like not like stressing out about how this will help you, rather than just saying, I know I'm doing this for someone else. Like this is not about me. This is about these people that I'm trying to pull along to hopefully a PR or at least the goal of what they have in the 5K, which was 21 minutes or better. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe that submission to a goal that was greater than like a selfish goal made it better. Or maybe it was the On Cloud Boom Echo 3s that I was wearing on my feet. Who knows?
Maybe you should talk about those. But I think it's probably both. The Cloud Boom Echo 3s are really good shoes. But then also, like, not to like go back too far, but like when I ran in Glass City, like the last 5 miles were like, I don't even know. Like I always say, like I don't know how I finished that race because I was just so like somebody got so out of it. But it was literally the lady that I ended up running with towards the end, the last like 5 miles. Like at one point, I just decided that like I'm probably not gonna be able to finish this. Not really like at this pace. At least I was gonna have to slow down, but I'm gonna help her for the next few miles. I'll hold on as long as I can because they kept yelling at her that she was like the third woman or something like that. So like I just figured I like almost like loud in my head, like just stick with her, help her out, and see what happens. And it immediately took my mind off of like, this is just about you. You got to push. You can do it. Da, 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 da. It was just like, just stick around with her as long as you can because you may be helping her or not or whatever. And that's the only way. Like, so maybe that's a good advice though, because not everybody's going to be able to pace, but you can always like link up with other people and connect with people in that race and maybe take your mind off yourself for a bit and act like you're helping them. Because you are, though. We've all run with somebody in a marathon or something that no conversation was had, but you feel like you're helping each other,
Right.
Yeah, the opposite happened in Eugene. I was running with Gary, and then he just dropped me, just like disrespectfully, like buried me, and I'm just like, man, my psyche is shot now, like it's over. No, I'm
joking. I apologize for saying, get the fuck away from me.
God, man. So
that just shows you how real it gets out there, man. It gets real. Even Gary turned into juiced up Jose Canseco or something. I don't know what it was.
Oh my God. So yeah, Gary. So now we know what happens to Gary when he doesn't run and he decides to take an off day and he a sailor and drops all the words. I got a little checklist here, Gary. You only got about 3 or 4 more words to just to raffle off, so we'd be good to get all the curse words out. Um, but yeah, and Silas jumped in and said that the event was great, was overall great. All right, let's talk about that though. Like, how y'all feel about y'all our first like MC gig, like to like on the mic, all three of us in public.
I
I
think.
don't know. Go ahead.
Gary. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Gary.
I was saying,
This is what we were doing on the mic.
yeah. Aside from the crosstalk, I thought we all played well off each other. In terms of like just talking about the different runners that are coming in, or little inside jokes. You know, being able to play off each other back and forth. You know, I don't know how much of the crowd really got it because the mic situation, but I was having fun with it. I was enjoying it.
I actually got a lot. Not a lot. Like everybody was telling me. I got I got like, I mean, there was quite a few people actually like that said something to me about how we did, and like was like, oh, PR project, you guys did great, or oh my god, good job. Like somebody on the trail today, I was doing went out to do like a little bit of a quick video real quick, and a lady like stopped running, and she was like, because I was standing there messing with my phone, she's like, did you MC the event? And I'm like, yeah, we did. And then she's like, oh my god, they were so great, tell her she needs to go to Ann Arbor, like it was like this big thing. Like, so I think even though the mics were weird, I think the energy that we all provided, even though like obviously the mics were funky, I think people got the energy, and that's all they needed.
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to take the opportunity to make the event feel special for everybody involved. Mm-hmm. That was the goal, because it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of just kind of bravery to sign up for something and do something that maybe you've never done before, or to be an adult that's has a job and just lives a regular, quote unquote, regular life, to kind of subject yourself to running super hard on the track. It's not something that people normally do. So I wanted it to be an opportunity to kind of shine a light on the participants, let them know that it's important what they're doing, because it's like it inspires people for one, but it gives people the opportunity to celebrate themselves and feel good about themselves. So I tried to name off everybody that was coming around, finishing, just doing my best to make everybody feel like they were a star and they were important and they were included. I think that's kind of the ethos of the Twilight 5000, is like, we normally don't get an opportunity to run on a track like that. That's usually reserved for people that get paid or people that are in school or things like that. So giving the amateur athlete and just putting a spotlight on the amateur athlete is kind of the entire idea of Twilight 5000. So I wanted to bring that energy and just kind of share that with everybody and give people that all-star treatment.
Yeah, no, and you did. I mean, you did a great job. You and Gary, really. Like I was too busy trying to be. I had a microphone, so I got to be a stand-up comedian. You know what I'm saying? I got my jokes off. But just
appreciate for broadcasters though, like trying to get the numbers and the names, like you're flipping through all the sheets.
Well, I mean, okay, like so. Yeah, I think what we did there was harder to me, like probably than like a broadcast, because I was listening to the 5,000 meter in like in the Diamond League London, and they're just like talking the whole time, but they have a list of people and they have a full background of everybody. Very good job at what they do.
I mean, assistants with like cards, like throwing them in,
they know who's gonna be in the race, and so like for us, and definitely you too, for sure, to go out your way to like say names and all that, and like go through that process, like it's just special. Like you said, like I mean, the whole ethos of the event is really to bring this really cool, like elite feeling vibe to the people. And so like Tracksmith's like like the one criticism of Tracksmith by a lot of people is that it's like it's kind of elitist, and it's very like a privileged feeling, and it's not like the most inclusive feeling, or like at least like the concept of it, or like when you look at it, it looks like that's not for me. But then once I had like gone to like some of their parties or something like that, like a run, it doesn't feel at all like that. Actually, it feels like, oh, I run at whatever pace and I just belong here. You know, like this is for runners. And then so for them to like take that and just plop it in like random cities, and you go, oh, like okay, like we all belong here for sure. Oh, it's time to
Light
go.
show,
Lights done
light
turned
show,
up.
Gary.
It's about to get serious.
I got a little Nicholas walking around here, so
Nicholas, just turn the lights off. It's cool. But you know what I mean. Like I feel like they did a really good job at like bringing that, because the lady on the trail said she was like, it's been so long since like I used to run in college, and I think I'm not gonna. I mean, she's an older lady, so she's just like, it's been so long since I've been on a track racing, and she was like, I just felt really cool just to get that done one more time. I was like, no, come back next year. You know, she's like, I don't know, but she was like, it was just so hard, but it's like. The cool thing that they do is bring it to you, but they don't make you go like, oh, you gotta be super fast. If you're gonna be in that last heat, yeah, you're gonna have to be quick. But so many people had fun, man. Like the one guy was 75 years old, and he was moving, and another guy with the cool shirt, he was out there doing his own thing. He didn't feel any pressure. Like he didn't see him feel worried. Nobody made him feel that way. So I mean, this isn't a commercial for Tracksmith, you know, for the Twilight 5000, but it is though. If you got one coming up in your city or in your area, just go to it. You know, like because it's really fun. Like, you know, I didn't have the best.
If you could at least go and watch and cheer on everybody.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a vibe, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a vibe.
This was crazy. The kids event was fun. The kids event was super fun.
Yeah,
I wish there were more children there.
I want it to be way more.
Like I want to see like a whole track just full of kids, because you know they're not gonna do it right, and it's just gonna be funny. But yeah, like to include like it's the little things like that, to include people's kids, and give them a kind of an opportunity to run in an unstructured environment. Because usually if kids are running track, it's very much like coach, official, gun, all of these things. But like this was just like have fun. They had 2 and 3 year old girls walking around the whole track. It was very inclusive. I appreciated it, and I think it's like, I guess, you know, like how they always say, oh, it's fun for the whole family. It can be fun for the whole family. It really is that.
Yeah, because it was some grandparents. It was some grandparents out on the track, but also it was like in the audience, you know, and they were cheering on whoever they were there for. And there's, like you said, there was literally 3 generations, you know, there, and it was just a dope event. And I can't wait to go to the Ann Arbor one. We have been. PR Project was invited to MC the Ann Arbor. It's really it's in Saline High School.
Yep, Saline High.
Yeah, school, and we got invited back because of the energy that we brought, and not to get on a soapbox. Just say let's get on it. It's dope that the 3 of us, you know, we're able to represent Tracksmith in this way and PR Project, and not be the typical person that would be like emceeing a running event. So I thought that was really dope, and then they mess with the vibes. They like the vibes. One thing, honestly, for it to be in Detroit and say like, oh yeah, you 3 do it, you know, but to say like, hey, yeah, come to Ann Arbor too. And if you're not from this area, Ann Arbor is not Detroit, you know, it's not the same thing at all.
Very much different.
Yeah, very much different. So for them to say like, hey, we like the vibes, period, pull up on the 3rd of August. That means a lot, and we'll be there, you know, with bells on. And Gary, we'll talk about your race. How was your race? You raced well?
I raced okay. I did the 3rd heat. Was 3rd? No, the 2nd to last heat. So the 4th heat. 4th. Yeah. So I was like in the middle of a packer. I wanted to get around sub. Hey, buddy, can you?
What's up, Nicholas?
I wanted to get around sub 18. I ran 18:02. Part of that.
You're right there. Is he like right there?
He's like right here, but he's like trying to dip his head in.
He's like right on the edge. You might as well say hi. What's up, Nicholas?
Hey, hi. Yeah.
Hi.
It's my son, Nicholas, everybody.
Oh, what's up? That's what's up.
Yeah. All right. Go away.
Now you're famous.
So anyway, I ran a good race. Like I ran smart. I ran with a pack. I think my only regret was when I had an opportunity to get after a little bit harder. I didn't. I kind of held back.
Mhm.
I think a lot of it was confidence, and a lot of it was just exposing, because you're out there in the middle of the field. Like, you know, if you're on a road, like we discussed this, if you're in a road race, you can screw up and go out too fast, and nobody really notices. But when you're out on the track, everybody sees you. So I wasn't ready to like get after it and then realize I have no business going this fast this early, and then making my way to the back of the pack. So I kind of was a bit hesitant to get after it a little bit more, but I felt good after the race. I thought I raced well strategically wise. I just probably could have gone after it just a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah. Joy said hello to Nicholas. So Nicholas getting some love.
Hey, you gotta say hi. He's saying hi.
Oh, and Winston said we needed that code earlier. He's gonna be at the Boston 5,817. Sorry, man. But yeah, if you want to sign up, it's the code is AB5000 or TB5000. Either one works. It should. If you have any issues with it, just let us know. $10 off of a $35 race ain't bad.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Hey, I will say, going back to the lady you were talking to earlier today about being back on the track.
Yeah.
I haven't raced on a track since college either, and that part was familiar and fun, especially the little bumps and people kind of jockeying for position inside the pack, like getting a little bit of elbow, getting my arm pushed a little bit here and there. I mean, not that I appreciated it, but I know that I remember that. I remember that feeling of jockeying for position, you know, not letting anybody come between you and the end of the side, all that stuff.
Yeah, you should have been coaching Ern, because Ern could not get to lane one to save his life.
Yeah, I didn't see that because Ern and I were in the same heat.
Yeah.
But I do remember thinking to myself how well I've matured since I ran, because I would have been hitting just as hard or pushing
I'd have DQ'd you, bro. You out of there. You right there. Get out. You're out.
Yeah. So not you guys haven't seen that footage of that kid getting pushed, like literally pushed to the ground in that track meet? Was it in Eugene or something like that?
No, I ain't see that one. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were bumping.
Yeah, then he like literally like just shoved him out the way.
Two-handed. Yeah.
Contact sport. Stephanie wants to know, Gary, what events did you do in college?
Outdoor, I did the 5 and 10,000, and indoor, I did the 5,000.
So yeah, you just been a workhorse for a minute, Gary.
Yeah. It's been a while though, but it was definitely brought back some good memories.
When you say a while,
I mean, like,
define a while.
We are in 2023. I ran college in 94, 95.
College.
So nearly 30 years. But I used to say 20 years, but now that I'm doing the math, I'm like, oh.
You mean to tell me 1995 wasn't 20 years ago?
You mean to tell me? Wait, no, it wasn't. Oh,
no, it wasn't.
Yeah. Holy bleep. So.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
so I see why you think. I see why you think about. I see why you think about what you think about right before you go to bed. Yeah. So were you about to say something, Aaron?
I was just gonna say, to put a button on Twilight 5000, we are very much looking forward to Ann Arbor or Saline. You got to Yeah, we are very much looking forward to Saline / Ann Arbor. Expecting a larger turnout, expecting maybe a more competitive field as well. So if you like fast racing, stick around for the final heat, because it will probably get pretty speedy.
Yeah,
and maybe a little more competitive than Detroit, because Zach kind of ran away with it. And he went wire to wire for the win in Heat 5, but maybe someone.
What did he end up at?
14:30,
14:35
ish,
right?
somewhere around there.
And just to let you guys know, 14:35 in the 5,000 meters it's fast.
Yeah.
Take my word for it. It's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bet you I wouldn't doubt that like the Ann Arbor one will probably be like maybe not low 14, but like 14, 15-ish, for 14, 20. I would guess. What do you think,
Yeah, I
Joe?
would take that. I would take that bet for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have more very nice track club athletes out there since that's kind of
Ooh,
like their
that's
their
their
home
hometown.
their hometown.
Basically.
So yeah, I mean, I could very well see it being 14 low, or better.
Yeah.
And just to give an idea to the people of what 1430 is, it's like 435 pace for a 5K.
Yeah.
So
So that's 435 miles 3 times in a row. Like that's
back to back.
it's
to
not
back.
like going all out for 1 mile running 435. It's back to back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I found out that he was running the race, um, he paced Gary and I to like a five. He paced me to like a 507, 510 mile, fairly easily, talking to me the whole time. I couldn't hear anything he was saying because the wind was blowing past my ears, and then the pain was radiating from my legs and lungs to my ears. So I just couldn't. All I heard was just a bunch of rambling that he was doing. But when I found out he was running the race, I just like it put me in perspective. Like, oh, like so he could definitely break 15. I mean, because if you just casually just running, having a conversation, you're not even going anywhere close to all out. He
It
looked
was
like
literally marathon pace for him.
he
Marathon
literally was just chilling. Yeah, marathon pace.
5:05 is like marathon pace for him.
Jesus, Pete, that's ridiculous.
Some
He's a
people
beast.
are insane.
Oh, and also, by the way, I was in the same heat as that gentleman.
Yeah.
That's how you know I had no business being in that heat. But the concept was I was in the heat with Gary, and I think the concept was like, oh, if I just jump up a little to the next one, I would have been at the bottom if I ran a PR or close to my PR. I'd have been right at the top of that. But I'm like, you know what? Let me just lower that so me, Gary, and Aaron all are on different heats so we can manage the emceeing thing, but then also like give myself a reason to just go for like a PR, just chasing a bunch
Are
of
you
people.
saying that you knew not to leave me by myself?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
just to have the mic by myself?
Yes. Yes.
That's not
Okay.
fair. But okay.
Affirmative.
Okay.
But then like so I got into that and I relished the fact, like we joked about me getting lap or whatever, and I was looking forward to like just holding on to like the back of the pack as long as I could, So Joe was in that heat as well. We get over there to like to the little because we started on the 200. Is that what it's called, right?
Yep.
Okay, whatever, like the other side of the track.
Yeah,
And we get over, huh?
Yeah, that's it. That's the 200. That's the 200
Okay,
meters.
all right, cool.
Yeah.
And so we meet over there, and he does, and then number one, real quick, Nick Willis is the reason why I came to Detroit and Ann Arbor in general because he's with Tracksmith now. Nick Willis has like the record for like most consecutive years running a sub 4-minute mile at 20 years.
20 years.
20 years in a row of running sub 4-minute, one sub 4-minute mile. But then I keep telling people about that. That is a big deal. But then if you just Google the guy's name, Nick Willis, New Zealand runner, he's a 2-time Olympic medalist. Like he had a silver medal in the 1500 in 1 year, and then the next Olympic year he got a bronze in the 1500. Like he's ridiculous. Like I didn't even put that together. I'm standing there talking to him like he's a normal person, but it's like, dude, you got like Olympic medals at the crib, bro. Anyway, so he's over there talking, and he's like, all right, who's got the lowest PR? Because he's trying to figure out like pacers, and somebody was like 14:25. I was like, wait, what is happening? Like I'm 2 minutes behind that, and I thought about how many times I could get lapped in that amount of time. And then he was like, all right, so who's gonna do that? And then like 3 people said something. And then like the next one up was 15 flat. And then I'm thinking like, okay, now it's me and Joe's time. After 15, it's gotta be some people that's closer to 16. Then the next one was 15:30, and there was a pacer for that. And then he really was a mean person for this one. He's like, all right, so anybody that's anything above 16 or whatever, like he said, just like that, whatever. And he said her name, she'll do it because she's whatever, right? And then I'm like, that's me. And then And she's like, okay, cool. Well, I'll hang with you at like 5:20 pace. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of on the edge there, you know? So we take off, and I did no warm up. Here's when the excuses come in, you know. Let me get this. Let me set
I
you
mean,
up.
to be fair, we didn't get none of us got a real warm up in. You know?
I mean, I'm just saying, y'all jogged a little bit. I got zero warm up in. Okay,
Who's to blame for that?
Huh?
Who's to blame for you not warming up?
I didn't. This is only one part of the conversation. We're not getting into that right now.
Oh, okay.
You know, this
we
is
were
just,
there. I'm just saying we were there.
This is just the team
You could have
of the excuses. That's what I'm saying. Can you just let me stack up my excuses real quick? Thank you. So I didn't do a warm up, and I got over there in like at the last minute because I'm like on the mic until the race. I should have just left Aaron because Aaron's a very capable person to do it. I was just having such a good time. I looked up and I'm like, oh, I need to get ready.
Yeah,
so
I did notice in the middle of my race. I'm like, why is he still in the mic?
Yeah. You were like, why are you still standing there? And so I didn't even put my bib on. Like I got to the 200 to meet up everybody, and I was like, oh, I don't even have my bib. Am I good? He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like number one, he's like, you're not gonna win. So like it is what it is. That's why I don't have any timing thing at all because I never whatever. And anyway, so we start the race.
You're saying technically you didn't even DNF. You DNS'd.
I did not start technically.
Yeah, technically.
So we start off. Joe right there. We with this lady. We pacing with her and this other guy. And honestly, like everything, like first 2 laps, fast. But I'm like, I feel fine. You know, like this summer speed. I'm ready for this. I'm ready to go into the pain cave. But then like right around that like 3rd lap is when I started the back of my like right leg starting to kind of tense up a bit. And I'm like, that's expected. We're running fast. It is what it is, you know. And then like halfway through that lap, I'm like, okay, this is getting a little strange, you know, like this is a little too much. And then as I turn that,
Aubrey,
when I turn whatever corner, are you there, Gary? Or are you good? I think he might have got unplugged.
I think it just went out. Oh, okay, there he is.
Okay,
he had to be a dad. He couldn't do that on camera.
I thought my battery died. I'm like, no, I'm plugged in. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you can't be a dad on camera. So like whenever I turned past you guys one last time before I stopped after like because I ended up stopping at like 1.25 miles. I started realizing that I was like changing my my stride, like I was trying to like compensate for like to not like have my right leg mess up. And then I thought about like real quick. It was like such a quick thought, but I'm like, you know what? I can't. Berlin. This whole training block has been fun. It's been great. I feel strong. I feel fast. I'm not messing up Berlin or this like left knee again for any. Like I was like, I can't do that. That'd be dumb for me to do that with like 9 weeks left to Berlin. So I just decided I told Joe, I'm like, sorry, bro, I gotta pull over. And he just kept going. I just got off the track. I mean, I was smiling. I wasn't upset. Like it is what it is. I just didn't want to hurt anything. Should have warmed up, but I had a great time that night, and it was just a good experience all around, even with a DNF or DNS. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. And it was funny. I didn't know. I'm looking. They're like,
yeah.
And I'm like, I think I was the first one to notice, but I didn't want to make a big deal about it. Like, there's
because you had the mic, and oh no, you were like, what do you say? I walked up on you, and you was like, speaking of something, we got Tommy runs. How you feel, buddy? And I'm like,
yeah, no, I think I was talking to just about how fast the heat was.
Yeah.
And then you just like I looked, I glanced. I think somebody said, I think Tommy stopped. And then I looked and I saw that you weren't running, but I seen you like shaking your leg. I'm like, oh, he's not going to drop. He just about to try to keep going. And then next thing you know, you was right there, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, no, cool. I thought about it. Like I'm like, just pull over, stretch, do like a little Safan Hassan thing, and just keep going. But I'm like, there's no reason here for that. Like if this was like a goal, like if this was like a goal race or even close to like up there on the thing, I definitely would have just tried to like figure out how long I could do it. But I'm like, I'm not trying to push this another like 2 miles at this pace, like, and I'm not about to trot it out while people are flying past me going not 4:30. Like, get out the way, So yeah. I just got off the.
I think that's a good lesson for people, even in training. Like if something isn't going right, like don't sacrifice your long-term goals to win the day. Because especially if it's not like, I understand if you went through 16 weeks of training and this is your goal race and you're running a marathon and this is the end of the block, like there's no running after this. But if it's still early in the block, if you still have bigger goals down the road, sacrificing one day, one race, one workout won't derail you from that. But if you keep going and you push too hard, then an injury would absolutely derail you from that. Burnout will definitely derail you from that. So just being mindful and making a decision like that was a very mature thing to do. And you can tell you're an experienced runner to understand and weigh the risk and reward of keeping going rather than just pulling up and just saying, you know, it is what it is. Today is not the day. That's fine. We all have those days. So I know David Goggins screams, you know, can't give up. Sometimes you have to give up, and it's not giving up because you're weak. It's giving up because you're smart.
It's the perfect example of listening to your body. Yep. You know, when they say listen to your body, that's what they're talking about. My body says there's no reason to do this. You're going to get hurt, or you might get hurt. Drop. You're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you, you know, and it's like, as you go through the running thing, if you run long enough, you're going to have moments where like something feels like sore or like a slight pain or a sharp pain, or there's going to be moments where like you have to decide. And David Goggins did all day. Like if you realize like, I'm just sore and tired. And this is just a thing. Like I ran more than I did ever before. And I just did a workout in the gym. And now I'm sore, you know, but like injury is another thing. And like Boston 2022, that was an injury. And I did a lot of work to get there, I felt like. And there wasn't going to be a way that I wasn't going to get to the finish line. You know, and that's just was what it was.
Yeah, plus
that's at the end of the thing. And it is what it is. And I don't even need this leg for a while, you know? So, but like something like this or a workout, like I've been there. Like Aaron seen me, like I probably should not have been running a workout. And I was just trying to like warm up the pain, you know, and then you need a ride to get home, you know, because you pushed something stupid. I could have just taken 3 days off that one time. And I'd been fine.
Yeah. So it's just about as you continue and as you get farther.
Gary looked like he's thinking like in deep thought. He froze.
As you get deeper into your running journey, you'll understand the difference between injury and just like fatigue and things like that. You'll know the little aches and pains that comes up when you're running in the middle of a block. So yeah, it's just about finding that threshold that you can manage and not going over it. So we do have a pretty good question here. I feel like we didn't even talk about this. So and Aaron, I think it's about time to change your photo, man. You don't even look like that anymore.
Dog, what are you doing, Aaron?
Do you wish you chose a different shoe on the track? So
it's a good picture, but that ain't you no more.
Yeah, no, you're a new person. I wore the On Running Cloud Boom Echo 3. And as we said, I was pacing. So my shoe choice was more aesthetic. I like the way the On Cloud Boom Echo 3 looks. So that was a good driving force behind why I chose that shoe. But I think for that purpose, it performed very well. It's not super high on the stack height. So you don't feel that wobbly feeling going around the corners, which is pretty important on the track since you got 4 of them per mile. And it's very responsive. You can feel the track because it doesn't have that super high stack height, but it still has that nice aggressive roll, and it is pretty firm, not a super soft shoe. So I think it's kind of almost like the best of both worlds between like a racing flat that just gives you that flat like track feel, but also still a little poppiness from the extra foam. And it's funny because I did my warm up in an old pair of Pegasus because I didn't bring a shoe to warm up in. So I wore like an old pair of Pegasus 35s, I think. And when I put the Cloud Boom Echo on, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like it's so aggressive compared to like such a neutral shoe like a Pegasus. Yeah. It's just such an aggressive like rocker. And it was just like, okay, this should be fun. This should be interesting. So yeah, Cloud Boom Echo 3 for me. I'm very glad I wore that, and I might wear it again in Ann Arbor. I'm not sure.
I wore the Cloud Boom Echo 3 as well. I was going to spike up the whole time, like, you know, and or something was. I just decided not to, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't even know if I would have made it as the mile. Just like dealing with what I mean, maybe I would have dealt with that. I'm not sure, but I really like what they've done with the shoe. We talked about pricing a while back of it. It's an expensive shoe, but if you're in the market for it, I don't think you'll buy the shoe and regret spending the money. Put it like that, because it is a very fast shoe. I could definitely see. I think that like they say that okay. So I heard more about this on the box. Aaron showed it when we first got it. It says that it's good for 4 marathons. So apparently, it's good for 125 to 150 miles. Like it's at its peak or whatever. And I'm sure you can keep it forever and probably run easy runs in and stuff like that. But it's at its peak performance. And I'd be willing to bet that right around like 30 to 40 miles, that shoe probably get pretty crazy and comfortable. And I think that that's when I would probably run a marathon in, because the foam would break down just a tiny bit more. I feel like it would be like the perfect marathon shoe. I would not pull that out and say, let's run a marathon after like 1 or 2 workouts. I think you need to probably put 20 to 30 miles on that shoe before it would probably be a good friend for like a long distance like that. But I loved it, and I definitely would wear. I wore spikes one day in a workout, and then I threw on on clouds to do like just like 100-meter or whatever. As soon as I put the shoe on, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I mean, it's a pretty crazy feeling shoe, for like all the right reasons. And it's not like a big shoe. It's not an alpha, no shade, but it's just a more compact. It's a like Zach said when he saw the shoe for the first time. He's like, oh, this is just their racing flat. This is their spike upper. It's just their spike upper on a high stack shoe, on a high stack sole. So it's a great shoe. Great shoe.
That's a good call. I didn't even think about breaking it in, but that first time I wore it, it did feel super firm.
Yeah,
and I kind of had some plantar issues with it on my left foot, but once you get some miles in it, you put some you kind of, I guess it kind of not molds to your feet, but you find that sweet spot, and it becomes a much better shoe. So good call on that.
Yeah, and then just the randoms. I think we talked about it before, but like for any super shoe, I feel like maybe not everybody does this, but whenever I put on any super shoe, I always feel like I'm trying to look for the striking point, or like the point for me where it feels like it's there more than others. I mean, I'm not going to change my whole stride and like get weird, but like I'm very aware of like which shoe I have on and where that point is that makes me feel like it's helping me the most. And I think that would be a good call for people that are like looking for a shoe. Try to find out how within your stride and step and all that, where it's going to help you the most. Because if you don't think about that, you could actually be leaving a little on the table.
Yeah. And I think and just to kind of put a bow on that, the Cloudboom Echo feels like it is a little more catered towards 4-foot strikers, because like I'm a pretty aggressive 4-foot striker, and I feel like I land right on a sweet spot on that shoe pretty much every step. So if you're more of a heel striker, I don't know if you'll like it as much as we do, but I really enjoy it. Like I said, I'm really considering pulling it out in Ann Arbor and using it to try to hit my goal in the 5K or in the 5,000. So we'll see how it goes. But so far, one of my favorite shoes in a long time.
That's dope. And it's a beautiful shoe though too. Aesthetically pleasing for sure, like you said. All right, go get yourself a pair of On Cloudboom Echo 3s.
Take out
and I guess Gary has had some issues, so we'll just keep on pushing. We'll try to end it pretty soon. We're already at 54 minutes, but want to do a quick unboxing. And we haven't done that yet on the show. So give me the Summer Jam screen and we're going to do this. So I already opened it because I can't do that type of stuff. Oh, Gary's here. Gary's back. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we can see Gary.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a little unboxing. I'll give you a little hint. Do you see the company there?
Could you pronounce that company, please?
It's CLA. CLA is the way that you say it, apparently. CLA. So I opened the box already, but I wanted to show you guys what we got. So they have been pushing in this direction quite a bit more. Obviously, they start with hats.
Aaron, this is how you get blocked, actually. Surprise unboxing is cool.
Yeah, surprise
inboxing.
Surprise, yeah, that's how you get blocked. You know,
You might end up blocked.
You might end up getting reported. Yeah, so we got some shorts here. CLA like started off with just hats. Can you hear me over the bag noise?
Yeah.
Okay. So they start off with hats, but they've moved aggressively into like the clothing game. And these are like some split shorts with different colors, some they're just definitely different. They're taking risks with colors, which is dope. I have these in this color and in like their super highlighter yellow one. They're really comfortable. They for real split though. You gonna when you sit down, you got to be careful. You might give people a show they don't need. And so I got 3 pairs of those for us, and they sent over some singlets. They've done a really good job with all their like these. This is like a brown to match like the same brown as this part of it. They got some
sexy red brown.
Yeah.
I don't think you should with that. It's very inappropriate.
Pop off the skin, the skin tone or whatever. I got a dope singlet and a couple other things in here, but they've sent us a bunch of hats before. It's a couple buckets and things in the past. Their hats are dope, but their clothes, they have really stepped up. And the way that they seem like they're going about it is either like mildly like casual runner vibe, like cotton shirts that are nice, or performance, like full on performance, like gear. And that's dope. That's a good play. Like either you making kits or chill gear or chill wear. You know what I'm saying? And that's race kits or chill wear. So that seems like a really good vibe. And so as soon as I can, I'll get that stuff over to you guys. And while I have the spotlight, wanted to show y'all something kind of new. I saw this company called Nix. I saw them for the first time at TRE last year, and what it's a sweat biosensor, right? So what you do is you take one of these things, and it has like a little transmitter. You stick this little pack on it. I have one that's open, but I wanted to show you real quick. Mm-hmm. I think you guys will really like this, and Aaron's like super big into like data, and stuff like that, and like
big data guy.
Not
to be confused with big data.
Big data. So you take off this little thing, and then you stick it right on like your bicep, and then see like there's an open spot there. It comes with each one comes in this little pouch here, and this is like the transmitter, and this like charges up overnight, and you put this on and you just twist it onto it, and then you stick it right onto your arm. So it's a one-time thing, so you don't have to walk around like some of those other ones where like you walk around every day with it for how many ever days. It's like a one-time use. So if you're running for maybe more than an hour or doing a workout, you throw it on, start your workout on your phone. You can leave your phone wherever, or you can bring your phone with you for like real-time data. Like it would give you alerts like take electrolytes, drink water, like it would tell you right then. Or if you just want the data for later, like you want to look back and say like, okay, what did I lose? What do I need? Blah, blah, blah. You can do that. And so like the concept is like, it's like in a marathon, just because you sweat heavy doesn't necessarily mean you know what you're losing in the sweat. So like, actually you can see like, I'm actually pretty like excited about it, but it's like, if you could be an electrolyte shedder, right? So you could run through electrolytes like crazy. So you need to take more electrolytes during the race. But other people sweat heavy, but they don't lose electrolytes much. So if you are taking a lot of electrolytes thinking you're losing it, you really could just be like overdoing that. And all you really need is water because you just need to be more hydrated. So it like tells you like your sweat rate, your electrolyte loss rate, and then a couple other things in there that you can like supplement in a marathon or in a triathlon or whatever you're doing, and supplement it properly so that your body actually stays hydrated from like properly hydrated from like start to finish of whatever that is. So the two things I like about it is that you can take it on and off. I mean, once you use one patch, it's over. but you can it's just a one-time thing. Get through with it, be done, get your data and move on. You can wear it once a week. It's not like you got to do it. It's not like you don't have to do this every day, because then that would get crazy expensive. Get the data you need and just move on with your life. And it has a dope app and it shows you all the stuff you need. So thanks, Nix, for sending that. They're sending all of us one. So we'll all have one with a bunch of refills. So you'll be able to at least use them, I think maybe like 6 times. I think they'll be sending it to us from now through October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
it takes into account like your body weight and like what do they take into account as they figure out?
Well, so when you sign, like a normal like profile, like you sign up and it like name all that stuff, but then ask you your height, your weight, and I think it asks a few different like qualifying questions. But I mean, really, what it is like it doesn't have to ask too much. I mean, because you could be, a child, like it just, as long as you have enough sweat, because once you open this, there's like little rings inside there, and that's where all the data is on this little thing that you throw away. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you have enough sweat, and it doesn't have to be like this insane amount, but it's like point something, whatever milliliters. And as soon as it starts to track in there, that's the data that it gets. And the more you sweat in that, it just keeps cycling more information. But you don't need to have, it's just taking what you're losing and telling you what you're losing in it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter necessarily like it doesn't matter. Your weight doesn't matter. It just.
Let me ask you this: if you were like,
no,
beginning like the first 10 minutes, it says, okay, you sweated this much, you probably need some electrolytes, and you take a bottle with you, and then would it show you later that you've replenished those?
I don't know, because I have the one I did, because what I've done, because I don't really run with my phone as much, so I haven't. And like today would have been a good chance to do that because I had it for like a 2-hour run. Yeah. And if I had replenished, maybe I could see that. But the thing that I did today was all just lost, probably. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I'll have to like check that out. But that's a good question though.
Yeah, we can play with that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because like it's really like what you want out of it. Like my fluid loss was 16.8 ounces per hour. My electrolyte loss was 1,002 milligrams per hour.
I don't know what that second one means, but 16 ounces of fluid loss seems like a lot.
Yeah, that's a whole bottle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a hot day too. So like, I mean, yeah. And then just because you don't sweat profusely, like you could be like I probably cool down quickly. So like I'm probably getting rid of a lot, but I just don't look like I'm just like drenched because I just maybe cool down quicker somehow. You know what I mean? Like
how much did it say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the electrolyte loss?
1,002 milligrams per hour.
1,000 milligrams. So I'm looking up how many milligrams of electrolytes. Huh.
Yeah.
So one of the fast chews, the salt stick fast chews, looks like it is 110 milligrams per chew. So you would need 10 of those.
So I wonder though if like because in a marathon you'll never eat as many carbs as you burn.
Yeah.
Right.
So I wonder if it's like that thing where it's like you're never gonna get to 1,000 per hour. You're gonna die. But like what can you take to get you to keep that deficit?
Yeah, I think it's more so staying away from zero rather than staying topped off. It's avoiding depletion.
Yeah. Well, no, you'll be depleted regardless, but like the amount of depletion.
Yeah, well, I mean, full depletion.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah,
if
full.
You can keep a little bit in the tank, then that would probably
be fun.
Yeah. So I can't wait for you guys to get it because, I mean, it would be cool just to see like how different everybody's is, like, and I guess I would maybe once we get them, we'll all sit down and maybe talk to somebody from Nix to see like what like have them walk through it with us to see like what's it mean though. Like now we have data, like, but what does it actually mean? Like I know what 1,000 means, but how do you do it?
Yeah, the data is no good unless you know how to interpret it.
Do you have to place it on your arm exclusively? I mean,
feel free. Do what you want to do.
What other ideas you got?
I mean, They in the box, bro. It say put on your bicep, dog. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, it's a good vibe. I think it'll be fun for everybody to have. And that's it. That's all I got. But yeah, shout out to Knicks for sending those out to us. Can't wait till they get the rest of them so I can share.
For sure. Does it break down with which electrolytes you've lost? Great question. That's Allison. Allison says, does it break down which electrolytes you've lost?
Which?
Yeah, like, sodium, calcium.
Oh, I don't know.
Gary, you want to give me another electrolyte? That's about the extent of my
Shit,
electrolyte.
I always thought it was just sodium.
NaCl, salt, table salt.
Pickling
Morton.
salt.
Yeah, you lose Morton, you lose
The one with
The 3 types of main electrolytes. Let's take a look.
Aaron said he was thinking that people might sweat more in different areas and that might interfere with the data. I mean, I think bicep is probably a safe spot. I feel like the other areas that maybe chest or back, I think those would be ones that would sweat probably too heavily. You know what I mean? I think arms are probably a safer spot. Like a bicep is probably a safer spot. We can still hear you, Gary. Did you hear him?
No.
He was like, God damn it. He paused again and then he's mad about it.
Magnesium, LOL, potassium, LOL. Look at the big brain on Allison.
What does the LOL mean? Does the LOL mean she's laughing at us or with us? I'm not sure.
It just means that she's smarter than us.
Yeah, like when somebody says something and says LOL right after it, and it's not necessarily funny, it's like they're trying to like tell you something without like telling you that you're dumb.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Well,
You're right. You're great.
Thank you, Allison, for the lesson today. LOL. But all right. Well, Gary, I'll say goodbye for Gary. Bye, guys.
Wait, no. Before we go.
Right.
If you are in the Detroit area, if you will be, I think I'll actually share my screen for this. This is kind of important.
Ooh, I know what you're about to share.
It's kind of a window. Here we go.
I know what you're about to share.
Share. Bam. If you are in the Detroit area on September 16th, We Run 313 is having our first ever race. We are running a 5K in Detroit, Michigan. So we are trying our best to get as many people out. This is the first time we're doing this, but we are going to be doing it every year going forward. It's a collaboration with Trivium Running. It'll be a 5K, on the road, starting in Palmer Park. Palmer Park is nice. We'll be running around. Don't quote me. I think that's the west side. But yeah, so if you're around the Detroit area on September 16th, that is a Sunday. Pull up on us. Registration link is in the bio at We Run 313's Instagram at We Run 313. Pull up. We would love to have you out. We're trying to make it as big as possible. So, pull up on us.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be dope. It's dope to see the fellas and the homies putting on a race so we can all get out there, collaborate, collude, and all that stuff and run fast. Gary is having a time of his life right now.
Gary, you got the car geek spot, man.
Yeah, all the swear words I wasn't supposed to say were said.
No, we only heard one of them when you thought you had just frozen, but we could hear you still. Gary, I feel like you're the one that like whenever you call your IT people, they probably like, oh, it's your turn to talk to them.
No.
No, that's not true. But all right, guys. Peace out. Peace to the Middle East.
Yeah, we need that, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, back in the day, you say that and it was like nobody thought anything. Of course, Now I felt like that was probably.
It shows your age. It shows your age. That's coming from me.
Can I start over? All right, guys. Peace out. See y'all next week. Next week, we're gonna be giving away another pair of On shoes. Make sure, even though you may not be a part of the giveaway for sure, but jump over to Strava, join the PR Project Summer Speed. I know y'all racing. I know y'all putting up some miles. Tap in. Tell a friend to tap in as well. Chat. If you have questions for me, Aaron, or Gary, throw it on the comment board or the board or whatever it's called, the wall. The cool kids call it.
Follow the PR Project on Instagram. The PR Project to stay abreast on all of the new things that we have coming up. Pretty big announcement coming soon. So I hear through the grapevine.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. Peace out.